So I got recruited to the #2 Division II school in the country, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. So let's dive right in here. And by the way, this is something that I dive a lot deeper into inside of my program called the Ideal Volleyball Recruit. And I have a bunch of different things inside that course. If you want more information, you can click the link below and get started for free. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover knowing your level of play. We're going to talk about building your list of schools, creating a standout highlight reel, to contacting coaches the right way, staying organized, attending showcases and camps, following up, and finally knowing when and how to commit. And these are the 8 steps that I took to get recruited. So step 1 is to know your level. And what I mean by that is your level of play. So you need to understand that there are differences between NCAA, D1, D2, D3, and NAIA and JUCOs or 2 years, right? So JUCO's not a bad thing, okay? A lot of people are like, oh, JUCO sucks. I don't want to go to JUCO. All the schools are horrible. It's not going to be a good experience. I just want to play for a 4-year. Don't say that, right? Don't count out junior colleges. There are phenomenal athletes that have come through the transfer route, which is where you go to a junior college for 2 years and you transfer to a 4-year. There's phenomenal athletes that have come out of that route because they get college experience. They get more time to increase their skills. And so then by the time they're transferred to a 4-year, they're basically at their potential and they're able to capitalize on that and get to a way better 4-year in terms of level of play than they would have if they just tried to recruit and go there straight out of high school. So just want to put that out there first, that taking the transfer out, there's nothing wrong with that, nothing shameful with that. It doesn't mean that you're not a good volleyball player. It is still real college volleyball. It's just different than a 4-year, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, again. But what you need to do is you need to assess your skill level, honestly, with film, and also coach feedback, right? So this is something I did when I was recruiting. I went up to my club coach and said, hey, be honest with me, like what level should I recruit to? Like, am I a D1 player? Am I a D2 player? Should I go to a 2-year route? And she was honest. She was like, look, this is what you should do. And I was like, okay, and I did it. So talk to your coach. They know you better than you know how you play. And also watch your film and be like, okay, like, everyone's seeing college games on TV. Like, you can pull up the games on YouTube of any college that you search for, any division, and compare it to you and be like, how far off am I of this, right? So look at your skill level, honestly, with your film and your coach feedback. Another thing you do is ask your teammates who are recruiting what schools they're looking at, right? If you're on a team with everyone who's recruiting to a same division, you're probably going to be that level of play as well. So you can ask your teammates who are recruiting as well. And then another way you can assess what level you should be recruiting to is look at the rosters of schools you're interested in and compare yourself to them, right? Are you around the same height? If you're a hitter, do you have the same stats as their players, right? So you can kind of look at that and see like, okay, all of the outsides are 4 inches taller than me. Maybe I'm not a good fit for this program, right? Or you can be like, hey, everybody's about the same height as me. Like, that's what I did. I was like, how tall are the outsides? That was the first thing I looked for when I was looking at a school. Because I'm a 5'10" outside, so I was like, all right, are these kids like 6'1", 6'2"? Because I'm not going to compete with them if they are. And then I was able to look and see whether they were or not. All right, so that's step 1. Step 2, build your list of schools. So you want to create a list of 20 to 50 schools across multiple divisions. So this is going to be a big list to start. You want to have pretty much everything on there. So obviously if you're considering the transfer out, this is pretty much just going to be junior years. But if you are going to go to a 4-year college off the bat, you want to have D1, D2, D3, and NAIA schools all on your list, okay? So make a big, wide variety of lists. Even if you're like, I'm a D2 player, put some D1s, put some D3s, put some NAIs at different levels because you want to have a very broad spectrum to start off with, right? Because you might not know what type of player you are or what level you're at, so it's best to just start really wide. Now, when I was recruiting, I had 53 schools on my list that I emailed. That's not a magic number. You do not need to have that many. But usually 20 is the bare minimum that I get kids to. 30 is the ideal number, and then anything above that is like the more the better, as long as you're able to keep up with the follow-ups, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Again, 20 minimum, right? If you have 5, 10, 15 schools on your list, you're not going to play in college. I hate to break it to you. You might get lucky, but otherwise it's just not enough schools. You have to email at least 20, ideally 30, in order to see responses from colleges. And I'll explain why that number is so big when I talk about the emails in the next steps as well. Again, all divisions, you want to start with a big quantity at the beginning, so you end with a great quality at the end, because it's going to funnel itself down as you go through the process. So if you start wide, your narrow finish is going to be a better narrow finish than if you try and start narrow as well. When you are making this list, obviously consider the volleyball program, yes, but you also have to consider the academics, to consider the location, the coaching style, the playing opportunities that you're going to have, right? It's not just for volleyball. You're not just going to college to play volleyball. As much as you love volleyball, like, you are going to be a student there, you're going to live there, and you have to take that into consideration when you're making your list. So that was something I kind of did. I didn't really think about like location of school. I was just like, the volleyball team is great, let's go. And I went to University of California, Merced. Just geographically, I don't like the area of Merced. It's a small town in the middle of Central California. I didn't like the weather. It was too hot. Everything was spaced out. There was not enough people in there. I'm from near San Francisco, so I'm a city gal. And so that's one of the mistakes I made when I was recruiting. I wish I had looked at the area that I was going to be living in better because I didn't like it, right? So think about these other factors, not just volleyball. Also, do not just pick random 30 schools out of a hat to get to the number. Like, actually think about this, okay? The more work you put into this at the beginning, the better you're going to have results at the end, right? And I have a worksheet that you can use plus ChatGPT, to basically make this list for you. So the link to the worksheet will be in the description. You can click on it right now. And there's a prompt in ChatGPT you can also paste. And you literally just fill out the worksheet, copy and paste the prompt in ChatGPT, and it'll make the list for you. So do that, right? That's the easiest way to do it. Obviously, you're going to have to check through it because it is AI. But that is what I wish I had done when I was recruiting. Obviously, AI didn't exist back then. But that's an easy way for you to do it. It'll pop out 30 schools, no problem. And so again, reach, target, safety are kind of the words for like the types of schools you want to have on your list. So you want to have some reaches where it's like, I don't know if I'd see the core. I don't know if I would get in like academics wise, like this is a really high level of play for me, but I'm going to try. Like they might not give me an offer, but I'm going to try. You have your targets or your fits where it's like, this is like my level of play. I'm pretty confident I would get into the school like academics wise. I'd probably see the core as a, sophomore, junior, senior. This is a fit. This is a target school for me. And then you want to also have some safeties where it's like, this is like a, home run, like slam dunk. Like I know I'm going to get in. I know I would see the core a lot. Just in case nothing else pans out, I have these on my list. So you want to have, that's why you want to have such a big spread of divisions, because you want to have reaches and safeties and targets on your list. All right, yes. And these are the definitions of that. You can pause to read if you would like. All right, so step 3 is to create a standout highlight video. So here's the biggest tips I have about creating film. The first 20 seconds are the most important. Coaches usually only watch the first 20 seconds. So put your best plays first. Most coaches will watch 4 to 5 clips before they move on. So you have to have the wow factor in your first clip, bare minimum, hopefully in your first 5 clips, okay? Coaches are not going to watch the whole thing. You cannot save the best for last. They're not going to see it. Put the best things right at the front in the beginning because they're probably only going to watch 4 or 5 clips. You want it to be 2 to 3 minutes. Show a mix of offense and defense, okay? So you don't want to just do hitting if you're an outside. You want to have passing and digging and blocking as well. And, same with the middle. You don't want to just do blocking. Like, you want to have hitting as well. So you want to have all of the skills relevant to your position in the correct order, okay? If you are a libero, do not put out of system setting as your first clip. No one should put serving for their first clip, right? If you are an outside, don't put the one free ball pass that you had in the game as your first clip. That shouldn't even be in your highlight reel, right? So put them in the right order, put all the skills that are relevant to your position in. And use clear labels, okay? Clear labels, fonts that are easy to read, have a good angle, don't be on the floor, don't be 40 million feet in the air. Make sure the whole court is seen, don't just have it focus on you and like the camera moves with you. Like have the whole court in play, don't move the camera. And have simple editing. Do not use transitions or anything crazy. Just cut from the next clip to the next clip. The focus is on you. It's not about the video editing and style and stuff. Do not use transition effects. Please, 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 please. They are a waste of time. They're distracting. They're annoying to coaches. Don't use transition effects, okay? Just have one clip and then immediately jumps to the next clip. That's the best way to do it. And you want to have the title slide at the start. Your jersey number for the team that you are on needs to be in that slide because coaches, the first thing they're going to do when they watch your film is say, okay, which player is she, right? As they're looking at it. So put your jersey number and picture of you so they can see who you are and identify you quicker. And then you want to have a small, short, emphasis on those 2 words, small, short graphic, a circle or an arrow, showing which player you are, right? Before the start of each clip. Unless you're the libero, then obviously you are the libero. You have the jersey, so that's fine. It's very easy to spot. But like everyone else, 0.2 seconds of circle pointing at you and then circle goes away and the clip plays. 0.2 seconds of like very quick circles there and then it's gone and you hit, right? You don't keep it as you're like playing volleyball and there's like a red circle. It's like following you and it has lag because it's robot. Like circle there and then it's gone and then you play, okay? These things are all, they just add up and they make it so annoying for coaches to watch these videos that they have a bunch of effects and they have the circle thing going on forever and there's all these crazy transitions, whatever. Like it's just, they're not going to watch your film, okay? So just keep it simple. Very quick little graphic. Here's me. Put it away. Show you playing volleyball. Cut to the next clip. All right, so step 4, contact college coaches the right way. Okay, this is probably where I see most people mess up the most. And this is the reason that I got recruited because I did this so well. And most people don't do this well. So you need to personalize every email. Talk about the school. Talk about why you're interested, okay? You cannot send copy and paste blast emails. Coaches will see that, and all it does is scream, I'm lazy and I don't really care about your school. I'm just going to hit copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Okay? Nobody wants to recruit somebody who's lazy and not interested in you. So don't say, dear coach. Say, dear Coach Cook. Don't say, your program. I love your program. Don't say, I love your program. Say, I love the Cornhuskers. Don't say, I would love to play for your school. Say, I would love to play for University of Nebraska. Right? Use the school name, use the program name, personalize it as much as you possibly can. Next, keep it short. Okay, a lot of people will write a full essay and a historical autobiography of their entire volleyball career. That is not going to get read, okay? Coaches don't watch most of your film, they don't read most of your emails. They will skim that thing until they find your film link. So keep it short, okay? There's going to be a lot of information about you they don't see on the first email. That's fine. They don't need everything about you. They only need the important stuff. So height, position, GPA, graduating class, club name. That's really the only biggest information tips they need on you. Right? Maybe some cool things you've done, some recent awards or achievements. So don't write an essay, but do make sure the important things that need to be in the email are in the email. And then add your highlight video and upcoming tournament schedule. If you do not have film attached to every single email you ever send, every single follow-up, every single initial email, every single I have a tournament coming up email, every single email you ever send to any coach has to have your film in it. Full stop. You will not get recruited if you don't do that, okay? Because coaches are not going to come watch you play in person without watching your film first. So that has to be in every single email you ever send. And then you also want to include tournament schedule because that's the goal of sending an email to a college coach. When you send the first email off, the goal is that they come watch you play. So that's your intention, right? As you're doing that. This is incredibly important, okay? You can't just send an email saying, hey, this is me. I'd love to connect sometime. No, you have to be like, here's my film, here's my tournaments, please come watch you play. I'd love to see you at my court. You gotta just be like, this is what I need, this is what I want you to do, you know? All right, halfway through. Step 5 is to stay organized. So as you're doing everything, you're gonna be reaching out to a lot of schools at once. Hopefully 30, maybe 20, maybe 40, 50, 60, right? You're gonna have a lot of different email addresses floating around. You're gonna have a lot of different emails floating around. So you're gonna have a lot of different schools that you're trying to remember the information on in terms of oh, this is why I liked that school. This was a specific thing I researched about that school. So track all your communications in a spreadsheet. That way you don't send the first ever introduction email to the same coach twice. Don't do that. Track it all in a spreadsheet. You can join my free volleyball recruiting group to get the one that I used when I was recruiting. The link is in the description. Very, very helpful. But keep notes, right, on which schools have responded, how interested they are, if they're watching your film, if they're doing your profile. Usually you get those notifications if coaches do that. So write down hey, this one opened my email, this one viewed my film, this one viewed my profile. This one responded in 5 minutes every time I messaged them. This one, just write down little notes of how interested they seem to be. And set reminders when to follow up. So what I did, how I scheduled my emailing, because I see a lot of kids also do this in a very inefficient way. A lot of people will send 3 emails a day. And then over the course of a week, they'll send 21 emails, and that's super cool, but they'll send 3 a day. The best thing to do is to sit down, carve an hour or 2 out of your schedule on a Saturday or a Sunday or, an afternoon when you don't have practice, and email every coach on your list. And then the next week or 2 weeks after, email them all again with a follow-up. Do it all, every other week on Tuesdays. At 4 p.m., I'm gonna email coaches until I get through the list. Do it that way. So much more efficient, so much better with your time, a better use of your time. And it's just a better way to keep organized too, and it's way easier to remember how long has it been since I followed up with this coach. It's the same date for every single school. You don't have to remember, I followed up with Concordia on the 14th and I followed up with William Jessup on the 18th. You can just be I followed up on the 16th, every single school on my list, right? So just do it all at once, okay? It's not gonna be fun, it's not gonna be super exciting, it's gonna be boring, but put some music on, put a YouTube video or a show on in the background and just go grind through it, you know what I mean? Go with your friends who are doing homework and do that while they do homework. But do it all at once. Trust me, it's much, much better use of your time. Really important. The reason I say set reminders, your follow-up emails need to get sent, okay? There's a whole section about following up, the whole step about following up I'm about to go into. Super duper duper important. I would not be playing in college if I didn't follow up with coaches as much as I did, okay? So you have to send your follow-up emails. They're honestly probably more important than the initial one. Hot take, I know, crazy. All right, step 6, attend showcases and camps. This is optional, okay? So you shouldn't just go to showcases because they're a showcase. That's what I did and did not help me at all. You need to go to events where coaches from your target schools will be there, or the film is going to get sent to schools that you're interested in, or at least schools are on the level of school that you're recruiting to, right? I went to all these crazy showcases at Far Westerns and all huge tournaments, and there was just a bunch of D1 coaches coming, and I'm not a D1 player. So I was just like, I would try to introduce myself and then I would never hear from him again, and I would not get anything from it, and my mom would pay like $200 or whatever it was, and I got a fancy little shirt, and that was all I got from it. So like, do your research beforehand, right? I didn't do any research. I was just like, it's a showcase. I want to be showcased because I'm going to play in college, so I'm going to go, and that was it. Like, think it through a little bit more, right? Do your research beforehand. Don't just go because they're showcases. Do your research. Once you have figured out, okay, I'm this school or going, I'm going to go because I'm interested in these schools. Email them as soon as you sign up and be like, hey, I'm going to this recruiting showcase. I'm going to be number da-da-da, if they give you your number beforehand, or just be like, I'm going to wear a pink shirt, or I'm going to, be blonde, I'm blonde and whatever. But email them ahead of time so they know to watch for you. That means 2 weeks before, and then also 1 week before. So email everyone 2 weeks before saying, hey, I'm going to the showcase. Anyone who doesn't respond, follow up 1 week before. Every single coach that you're interested in, whether they're like on your list or you realize they're there and they seem really interested in you while you're there, make it a goal to introduce yourself in person and make a strong impression, okay? This is a really, really unique opportunity for you to kind of almost jump through the steps of recruiting a lot quicker than they usually happen, is by going to these showcases. So getting a face-to-face conversation with one of these coaches is really, really, really huge. So don't be afraid to talk to them, right? They can end up being your coach. So make sure you introduce yourself. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just a simple like, hey coach, da-da-da, my name's Téa. Like, thanks so much for, being here. I had a really great time at the showcase. And then they will take the conversation from there, right? Make sure you introduce yourself. All right, so step 7, which I alluded to before. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Coaches get hundreds of emails. There are coaches that get upwards of 50 emails a day from recruits. That is 350 emails a week. That is over 1,000 emails a month. That is 1,400 emails a month from recruits. Can you imagine opening 1,400 emails every single month while you are in season? This happens in the fall as well, right? So coaches do not have time to read that many emails all the way through in full, okay? They also don't have time to respond, and things are going to slip through the cracks just because of how many recruits are coming into them, right? Unless it's a new program where like they just opened a team last year, or like, they're the worst junior college in the country, like they're going to have recruits flooding their emails, okay? My dad's a college coach for Napa Valley College. They didn't have a team before him. This past season was his first season. Second season ever being a coach here, and he's getting flooded with emails as a 2-year college who just had a new program open up, right? So it's like every coach is getting so many emails, they don't know what to do with them. You'll need to follow up more than you think. 5+ times. Every school that I got offers from when I was recruiting did not respond to my initial email or my second email to them. I had to follow up at least 3 times with all the schools that ended up giving me offers. The school that I'm currently playing for, San Francisco State University, I had to follow up with 7 times. Yes, 7. I did not hear from them a single time with the first 6 emails. I finally sent the 7th and they responded, and I ended up playing here. So you have to follow up more than you think. Now, this doesn't mean that you email them every day being like, hi coach, hey, just checking in. Like, space them out, right? Recruiting is a long process. You can email them every other week, every week. Like, it doesn't have to be this huge crazy thing. And don't just email them to email them. Like, give them new information every follow-up. New stats, new award, new highlight reel, upcoming tournament, made your high school varsity team, made this certain club team, getting private lessons, like, right? Like, just be creative, think of things to follow up with coaches about. Don't send a follow-up without new information unless you are desperate. You have used every single idea in the book, and you were just like, oh, you just want to check in and like, hey, are you still recruiting me? Like, other than that though, give them new information every time. You can be professional and you can be persistent, and you can not be annoying. You can be professional and persistent and not annoying. So wait a couple weeks, right? You should not be emailing a coach multiple times in a week unless you are like having a dialogue where they're responding, right? Otherwise, it should be once a week at the very, very most, if not every other week or once a month, okay? And going back to this as well, I do have email templates that you can access as well. You can click the link below to see those as well. Step 8, know when and how to commit. So by this point, once you're at that part of the process, you've got offers, you got to figure out when and how to commit. So first off, understand the offer that you are going to potentially accept, right? Understand scholarship. Is there scholarship money? Is this a walk-on offer? Are you getting any financial aid? Are you getting academic aid? Are you getting just athletic aid? Like, understand the terms of the offer. Make sure you're clear about what the coach and the school are offering you. If you're not clear, ask them, okay? It's so much better for you to not understand the offer, ask the coach, and get an answer, than to not understand the offer, commit, not understand what you're getting yourself into, and all of a sudden you sign a contract for something that you can't afford, that you didn't realize you wanted, or whatever it is. So, like, don't be afraid to ask. Don't think it's weird or it means you're lazy or whatever. Like, coaches will appreciate you, like, making sure you are clear on everything. So if you don't know the terms of your offer, just ask them, right? Hop on the phone or text them and be like, hey, just want to double check, like, you know, did you say you're offering me 10 grand or was it 25 or like whatever it is, you know what I mean? Just random numbers I just thought of in my head. If you have multiple offers, which is the goal with recruiting, right? All the kids that I work with, my goal for them is that they have multiple offers. That way they're not pigeonholed into either playing college volleyball or not playing, but they instead have options they can choose from and still play in college. So hopefully you're in that spot as well. Compare the schools, compare the athletics, compare the academics, compare the costs. Those are the kind of the biggest things, right? Because that's going to be the most of your time. And do what's best for you, okay? Like, don't do what your mom wants you to do. Don't do what your dad wants you to do. Don't do what your coach wants you to do. Don't what you do your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your teammate. Like, do what you want. This is your journey, and this is your first opportunity to really make a decision for yourself in your life, a major decision. You get to do whatever you want, right? And it's really cool, and it's also really scary. So do your research, right? Do a deep dive on all the schools you have offers from if there's not a clear standout, and do some reflection, like see what you actually want in your college experience, you know? And a quote that I have heard from my coach at San Francisco State, don't make the right decision, make the decision right. So that's kind of like, there's not going to be a perfect fit for you, right? If you feel like you found that, great, congratulations. For most people though, it's not going to be perfect. It'll be very good, it'll be great, it'll be an amazing fit, but it won't be perfect. So just understanding, like, you're going to have to commit at some point. You don't have years and years or months and months to sit on it, the decision. Like, you have a certain amount of time before it's like, okay, the fall season's starting soon. Like, we need to hear your decision. So it's like, yes, you should take your time. You should sleep on it. At the same time, don't be stuck just kind of spinning in circles, not getting anywhere. Like, you can make the decision right instead of making the right decision. So if you're at a point where you're at a standstill, where it's like, I can't choose, like, I feel like I'll regret whichever one I don't do. Just pick one and make that decision right. Like, do what you can to rectify the decision, make it so that it is the correct decision instead of trying to just choose what's right. Because oftentimes, if you have multiple offers to play college volleyball, there's not really going to be a wrong decision. No matter what you pick is going to be great. It's just a matter of which type of great you want. So you can make them all work if you want. So just choose one that you want to make work and make it work. That's kind of what that quote means. That's from him. If you're kind of just like, I really don't know, you can do that. So once you decide, you're like, all right, I'm doing it. Obviously, you're going to tell your coach. I would call them on the phone and be like, hey, you know, good news. Like, I'm coming to play for you, whatever. You're going to tell that school. Reach out to all the other schools that have given you offers, right? Tell them you are not playing for them. You are declining the offer. Do not ghost these schools. It's very unprofessional and not a good look, right? So once you were like, all right, I'm going to play for this school, text, call, email, whatever it is, the other coaches have given you offers and say, hey, like, thank you so much for considering me and offering me a spot. I really, really, really do appreciate it. That being said, you know, just based on my interests and the school being a good fit for me or not, I've decided to play for or you can say I'm committing somewhere else if you don't want to say the school name. Like, best of luck with your recruiting with this class. Best of luck with your season this fall, right? Like, be very polite, be very professional, but tell them. Don't just ghost them, okay? Send an email or call. All right, so that's it. That is how to get recruited to play college volleyball in 8 steps. So in summary, recruiting is a long process, okay? It starts freshman year for most people, and you commit senior year, right? Some people commit earlier, some people commit later, some people start late, whatever. But like, usually it's a 3-year process, right? Freshman to senior. So don't be worried or frustrated if you don't see results for a long time. There are going to be dry periods, okay, where you're not going to see results for weeks or months even. Doesn't mean that you're hopeless, that you're a lost cause, that you should give up, right? Staying consistent is what makes the difference. The people and the players that get recruited are the ones that are consistent with their follow-ups, and the ones that are consistent with making new film, and the ones that are consistent with finding new schools to reach out to, the ones that are consistent with doing their research. Like, the consistent players are the ones that make it through the process successfully. So focus on consistent communication, strong film, and the right events for you. Again, you do not have to go to any recruiting showcase events. Like, the ones that I went to didn't help me, so if I hadn't gone to them, I would have been just fine. So like, if you can't afford it, if you don't live near any of them, it doesn't make sense for you to go, like, you don't have to. It is a genuinely optional step. Do your research. If it makes sense, go, and if it doesn't, don't, right? But focus on consistent communication and strong film, and keep an open mind and be ready to adapt, right? When I was recruiting, my number one choice was Cal State University Monterey Bay, and I got really far in the process with them, and then after I went to their camp, they were like, hey, unfortunately, it's just not going to work out. We need a different type of player than you are, like not personality wise, just like skill set wise, and so we're not able to offer you an offer. And that sucks. It's my top choice, and I had to adapt and also keep an open mind of like, all right, well now I have to go to another school, so I better actually take a look at all these other schools, because I was just banking on that, my top choice, and then it fell through. And so like, okay, I have to actually like genuinely start evaluating these other schools here that I'm in contact with. So keep an open mind, be ready to adapt. Obviously, shoot for your top choice, right? That's the goal. But if it doesn't happen, doesn't mean it's hopeless. You should give up, okay? And remember that winners never quit and quitters never win, right? Don't quit and you'll win. Quit and you won't win. It's that simple, right? Quitters never win, winners never quit. So again, for more, I'm in the way of this little blurb, but for more recruiting information, I have resources. There's 200 other awesome volleyball players in my free recruiting group. You can join the link in the description. Included in the group is a step-by-step recruiting course. You get one-on-one coaching with me. You get a film assessment. You get at-home drills you can use. You get a technique library of all the different skills, a pre-tourney checklist, and packing list, and more, all for free. Link is below for you to join and check that out. But other than that, that is everything. Click the link below. I hope to see you in the group. And stay tuned for more videos on this account. I know this is my first or second video ever. I'm going to do a lot of videos about email, because I know a lot of people have questions about that. I'm going to talk about film, we're going to talk about recruiting events, and we're going to talk about liberos, how to get recruited, because there's a million libero recruits, and we're going to talk about outsides and different skills that you need, and we're going to talk about everything under the sun recruiting. So stay tuned for more recruiting tips. Join the free group to get more resources, and I will see you in the next video.